The Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau, the advisory committee meeting. We will begin with our roll call. Raymond Camino. Elizabeth Flores.
Present.
Judith Gutierrez.
Present.
Richard Laurel. Bethany Luna. Carlos Mata. Marisa Ramirez, present. Magali Rodriguez.
Present.
Alejandro Villarreal.
Present.
Okay, now we move over to the motion to excuse our members are as follows. We have 3 members who are asking for excused absences. It's Rick Laurel, Raymond Camina, and Bethany Luna.
I move that we excuse, excuse me, the members that have asked to be excused.
Motion carried. Moving on to the approval of the minutes for the February the 6th meeting. I only had a question in reference to our last meeting that we had said that we wanted to add a few comments into the January's meeting minutes. Did we do that or?
Yes, it's
Yeah, I have.
it's with, yes.
Yes, we added and we'll bring it to the next,
It'll be in our
meeting, but yes.
So we can all review
Monica
it.
already worked on adding the comments from,
I added 2 or
Jeff.
3 sentences.
yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So we'll bring it to the next meeting.
Thank you.
As far as the minutes for the February the 6th, does anybody have any comments or any corrections that need to be made?
I move that we approve.
Second.
Motion carries for the approval of the minutes for the February 6th, 2020 meeting. Do we have any public or citizen comments today?
Not this morning.
I want to say something because I got a call from a gentleman, I think he has talked to you also, and he has some kind of a business that he's promoting, and he said that he wanted to talk to me, and I said, well, just one member. I said, why don't you go and make a presentation? I don't know what it's about, to be quite honest.
What's his name?
Alejandro, no. I can't remember, but I get that you mentira. But he said he would call me back because he caught me in the morning really early, and I was on my way out, and I said, I'm sorry, he said, well, I've been watching the meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he's watching, so I don't know.
We can meet with him and definitely go through his presentation.
He could really, wanted to promote Laredo, but that he has an idea or two that are different than what we're doing here.
We should talk to you.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, go talk to Eileen, and if necessary, just get yourself on the agenda. Really?
Yeah, definitely. Has he talked to us already?
Yes, he said he talked to you.
I have an idea of who might it be, and we might already be in contract with him.
What's his name?
Mr. Martinez? Roberto Martinez?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're already working with him. The project, because of different details, is not moving as fast as he might want to. But we're already working with him. He's already under contract.
What does he do?
The program that they have is, they have cards where, and it's mostly for visitors that are constantly coming to Laredo, or for visitors that we might want to bring new, but we know that they're gonna constantly come to Laredo, because it's like a membership card where the more times you visit Laredo, the more times you get like points to spend somewhere else. But in order to be able to spend those money somewhere else, you have to visit Laredo. And so we already have the cards. We're already working with him. He's already under contract. But we've had some issues of invoicing and some issues with
Details.
details.
The devil is in the details.
Exactly. So, and it's a
That's where it
very,
is.
and his program, we want to make sure that when we roll it out, it's well explained, because it's a little bit difficult it's not something that you see and you're like, oh, because it's something different and it's very new. And so we've been working
Well,
with
that's what
him.
he told me, I said, look, maybe we need to sit down and talk about it, because, over the phone is so difficult, especially when it's a very detailed thing.
Yeah.
And I said, well, sir, I said, I'll be willing to meet with you, but we have a meeting on Thursday. I said, I'll bring it up and see what, so.
And so one of the things that, and we've talked, endlessly. He's been to the office several times. And one of the things, a lot of the ideas that they had, I said because of us being a government entity and because of the way that we are funded,
Doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it's not as
doesn't
simple.
work. Exactly.
And that's what I was gonna say, that that's what the anxiety may be,
Mhm.
is that people that normally do not work with government entities, think that it's just sign here and let's get
Give
it
him a
done.
check and stuff.
And it's not
Exactly.
always like that when you're dealing with government
Yeah.
regulations and funding and et cetera, et cetera.
And so, and we can do some things. We have regulations and how.
As long
to
as
so
you're
that-
working with him and he receives that explanation, and I'm glad he got to talk to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I said, we have a meeting, he called me Tuesday, I said, we have a meeting on Thursday.
Mhm.
I said, I'll bring it up. I said, I just want to be able to know more about it, because you're telling me over the phone, and you say it's very complicated, so you've already, told me that
Exactly,
there's
so-
more than, that you.
That meets the eye.
Yeah, and he texted me yesterday actually, like, when is everything gonna be rolled out? I was like, we're
That's
working on
thing.
the,
It's the
yeah,
inside, yeah.
yeah, and we're working on the design of a rock card that explains specifically
Yeah.
how
What
this
it is
works.
and how it works, and
Exactly.
I said, he said,
Because
oh,
then you set him up for failure, and you don't want
Exactly.
to do that.
And I know because we are, I think, his first client
Oh,
Okay.
really?
for the
Yeah.
project. He has that anxiety that he's like, I've set up, like he set up his business basically. Last thing he explained to us is like, I basically set up already everything so that you can start. I was
Yeah,
like,
he's banking on us.
Exactly.
And his
Which-
partner's from out of town.
his partner is from out of town, and I had a conversation with him and I said, sir, because he asked me, he's like, I need you to start so that I can start selling my project. I said, sir, it's your business. You need to do what you need to do.
Right.
But don't.
They'll kind of you to,
Exactly.
until you're ready to do whatever.
Exactly. So I think that's also the anxiety that he's worked his first client on this project here. And so they're waiting on us to show this is working so they can go to other entities
people.
and show it. So, yeah.
Well,
But yeah, we're
He's
we're
hopeful.
Exactly.
He's
So
hopeful
we're
that
all,
the city's gonna come
he's
through.
already under contract.
Okay.
no comments.
And maybe, at some time in the near future.
We can bring him.
You can bring him here and let him explain if he wants to, if not, but.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the reviewing of the financial statements, which is on page 4.
Oh, I wanted to ask, because I'm confused with this. On the October, November, December, January, February, the 2020 actuals, what does that mean?
That's the monies that actually came were collected. The monies that were collected.
But not in 2020.
Well, it's because it's our 2019-2020
Budget.
fiscal. And, or did you put?
No, because we have
It's
2019
always
actuals.
It's usually off by
You
1
should
month,
say-
right?
It's a month.
No, but
Yeah.
what she means is that we cannot have access of October, November, December. We
Yeah,
have
but
it.
it's because it's not 2020, it's 2019-2020
Yeah,
fiscal year.
You should just say 2019, 2020.
It should say 2019-2020,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
not
because
worth
see, the
confusing.
other ones say 2019 actual,
Actual.
2018 actual. So all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, and I went back to the
Yeah.
other ones and they say the same thing, but I don't know why I hadn't asked, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, it's just we go with it's this fiscal year, so
So
this
it's
one
the
is.
fiscal, the
yeah.
2020 fiscal year.
Fiscal year.
Okay, so maybe a fiscal year.
That's why it starts in
Yeah.
October, although remember that it's a month.
2019,
Yeah.
then a month off.
A month
And,
off.
and so how does that I'm sorry, you all, I asked a question before you explained.
No,
So how does it look?
We're still going above projections. We did have some, we were very conservative in terms of our projections because we knew that we didn't know the situation with the new government in Mexico, how it was going to affect. So when we did our projections for 2-3 years in advance, we were actually very conservative. And so right now our actuals are basically above our projection. So we're still good. As I mentioned last time, we are being very detailed on what we spend and how we spend, because although the budget freeze doesn't affect directly hotel occupancy tax, we want to be good stewards of the monies, and we want to make sure that we're spending it.
Yeah, and you don't know with the virus, what
Exactly, so,
people may not want to travel.
yeah.
Well, the thing is also, you know, that Trump was threatening to close the border,
Mhm.
to seal the border if things start happening in Mexico.
He wanted to do that in his first press conference,
That's-
but he got a lot of pressure from the industry. But he was going to announce that. That's why the reporters brought it up. And then he said, no, there's no plans. We're good friends with Mexico. Remember how he said that? And the reason he said that was because I know of some meetings that he had right before where he was going to close and was told, you do that, you're dead. Pretty
Does he
much.
even realize the impact? I mean, look at
No.
all of what happens.
It's a hoax.
That's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you know.
It's very dangerous right now because I even think that there was already people in the United States
Yes.
that had and were on the track to get the virus, the vaccine for the virus, and were stopped. And I think Congress is going to investigate that, and you're going to see that in these days. That's going to be the rumble when you all go to Washington. It's going to be the coronavirus, and you all are going to have to be very careful because everybody is going to want to speak about that, and many people are not going to show up to your meetings because you're coming from the border
Mhm.
and you're
We
coming
don't
from
have
out of
anything
town.
Yeah, but everybody, you know, it's speculation, and people start talking about it as if, you know, this is a hot spot, and really, you know, you stop to consider right now, just listening to the news. I mean, the hotel industry is already beginning to suffer. I mean, they're canceling.
All the
Major
travel
I'm
industry.
hoping, I
Airlines
know,
too.
We already
I'm
had a
hope-
cancellation, a big cancellation here from a group from they were gathering here from all over Texas and
They don't want to
this
travel.
big company, local company decided not to.
yeah, they're doing video conferences now. I
Last minute
would
cancellation.
seriously, when you all have your meeting, consider your travel plans because it may be a waste of time. And people are not gonna go to your party.
That's one of the concerns that we.
No, they're
that we
not.
have.
I'm gonna
Nobody's
tell
going
you
to be
right now.
celebrating, even if, but people just don't, you know, you're
I'm gonna tell
in
you
the
right
mood.
now, they're not gonna go to your party.
That's one of the,
Yeah.
So y'all are gonna have to, you
but,
know.
and that is a general concern, our mindsets are in the
Oh,
party because
absolutely.
we're the ones that organize it. And so we're looking at everything to make sure that everything is ready, and everything is, I mean, we have pilots are underway. The only thing that actually put a little pause in our pals getting to Washington yesterday was the tornado in Nashville.
Right.
That's another
So
thing.
that was what basically the only
Little glitch that
issue,
we had,
the
yeah.
glitch that we
But
had in getting
everybody's
everything.
canceling everything. It's like nothing. I mean, it's just like
They were
they're
talking
taking-
about NCAA as well to cancel the games and just make them like the games NCAA,
Oh, yes.
Oh, the.
Right.
And even
the
the,
college.
yeah. And
I guess
even,
until there's and we were talking about
Yeah.
situations like that, like swine flu,
Yeah.
well, NH1.
Because you can't contain something if you continue to do what you always do. And most of us aren't, are pretty worrisome about, like you say, your cleaning and everything. But in addition to that, there are people out there that don't do those things.
Yeah.
And so I really think that in order to contain it, and that's the only way you can stop it,
We should,
is,
look at what
is
China
to
did.
stop doing what
They-
you're doing.
Everything was just
Yes,
continued.
you have to stop doing your normal activities and your plans. And that's a terrible thing.
You don't know what to do.
Things are changing every day.
Every day.
Like, so,
It's
so what-
fluid, it's
whatever
like-
happens right
She's
now,
right.
we don't know what's going to be happening tomorrow, so,
That's right, she's right.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm working with a travel agency because my family is going to Italy is planning to go to Italy in July.
Oh my God.
And
that's- you're looking
the travel agency, they pretty much you just show up and they take care of everything, but you pay them ahead of time, of
Yeah.
course. And I already have paid them a certain amount of money. So in contact, they told me right now, they're sending out emails all the time, but right now their email is saying, we're taking care of the people traveling in March. And we're giving them options. You want your money back, you want to go to another destination, or you want to postpone for another year and keep your deposit here. That's how they're handling it, thank God,
Yeah.
But pretty much, everybody is,
Canceled.
I've seen, and I follow a lot of travel, and I'm
Oh,
part of
sure.
some travel organizations, and everybody's trying to deal with it in the best
Different
way.
way.
There's a
and
lot
like
of,
she says, on
Yeah.
a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
that tomorrow might change
Yeah.
what we're talking about today.
exactly, so a lot of private sector, out of caution, they're canceling some meetings.
California just declared an emergency.
Now think about it, California and Washington, are border states, there are border
You're very close
states.
to
Yeah.
San Antonio.
They are border states.
Yeah.
So it inevitable, like she said, we're gonna get hit. And
So
I don't
that's-
know how they're gonna handle
And the
it.
thing is that's why, in looking at these projections and looking at these numbers, and I'm sure you're concerned, because you have to be. As are we, because it's very, you hear the news and it's, yesterday 5 died, and more people are beginning to die. And although, really, the amount of people that get the coronavirus, would be it would be a mild, case of it, and then you move on with it. But for people that have compromised system, immune
Yes,
system,
immune system,
they're
yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, we've been in talks, and not necessarily because of the coronavirus, but we want to be ready for other situations like a possible closing of the bridges when the caravans were happening and that type of thing. And so we've been talking to our agency in Mexico and our agency here in the U.S., being proactive in terms of PR. How can we work? And so we're ready. We have been talking about situations like this for the past probably 6 months. And to where, what if this happens, if the caravan happens, what do we do if
You always
we
have to
get?
have plan B.
Exactly, and so we've been talking, since things started moving around the bridge and they started putting the concertina wire and all that, we've been preparing with our agency, especially in Mexico, but now our agency in the US.
My housekeeper said, she has a restaurant across the river, and she said that all of the churches were ordered to no sign of peace and no hostia in the mouth.
They've
In
implemented that
Laredo.
here too.
Huh?
They've implemented it too here,
They just started.
And remember that
It's up to the priest.
in Mexico, they have the N1H1 history.
Right, so they know.
They know.
They know.
So they're implementing things that they implemented 11
And
years
that's,
ago.
and
The government
that's
started
what
to
needs-
move earlier
Exactly.
than our government.
Just as a precaution, because they have that experience with
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
So
what happened.
that's why I'm hoping, I think we're safer having Mexico as a neighbor than not, because they are aware.
So know that we're very, we're trying to be on the look for those type of things. We're working with our agencies in keeping them updated. They keep us updated and we keep them updated of what's going on. And we're basically looking at all the options in terms of PR, so that in case something like this happens, we know how to respond.
The other thing I'm gonna tell you to be aware of, and I know for a fact that every day there are many Chinese caught on the border. Many.
Yeah.
And you all probably know this too. And I don't know how that will play out. I'm hoping that the Border Patrol and everyone else is taking huge precautions, because if anything happens from there, guess whose name is going to be smeared alongside it.
Yeah.
And that's a big concern. I don't know if you all remember the other virus that was going on, and everything was happening here at Doctor's Hospital with a group of Chinese. Because that part was an because we didn't think about that part. You know, who's going to think?
Yeah.
So be in close contact, whoever your contacts are,
Yeah. And
departments that contact them. Be sure they are taking it very seriously. Because really, the city has to be the leader in this.
no, and I know
And I think Dr. Gonzalez has done a very, very good job.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's been out there, you know, he's communicating with the community.
Yes.
Did they have a hotline so if they have any questions?
That's what you need, and then they
That's
have the
what you
hospitals
need.
also,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So Dr.
being
Gonzalez,
part of that
I'll
organization.
talk to him too, but he's doing a great job. I mean, he
He
always
is.
does a great
He
job.
knows because he worked with me and the Chinese and the people and the Border Patrol going, what?
Does the hospital have enough, like, test kits?
I don't know if enough test kits, but I know Dr. Gonzalez was talking about like
No.
trying to, and when we go to Washington, that's definitely gonna be a topic of making sure.
If you
that-
go to Washington, they'll probably cancel. Everybody's canceling, I mean, it's
The
just like,
airline too has a lot to do
and the thing
with
is the airlines.
Yeah,
The scheduled, you know,
United Airlines already
they're
canceled.
canceling a lot.
Good,
And
like
he's
20-some%
like,
of the flights.
And mostly to the places that are
Yeah.
more affected.
Yeah.
So far, us up to date,
Your
this
schedule
morning, we're
for
still
this
We
going.
were still going. We haven't gotten any.
that-
Day to day, y'all are doing day to day, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're basically, we're moving as if.
You can-
As if you're going.
As if
Yeah.
we're going. I mean,
When do you leave?
Vero and I leave on Saturday just because
Oh, that's like,
Yeah.
around the corner.
and Joel leaves on Sunday.
Mhm.
Like, there's just a few hours difference. It's basically, we get there at
There's
9
a place,
PM
yeah.
and he leaves at 6 in the morning. So it's just a few, because he leaves
Hours.
with the whole delegation and Vero and I go as the
So everybody
team.
leaves on Sunday?
Sunday. Mhm.
98% of the group leaves on Sunday.
And spring break, I'm going to Las Vegas.
That's not there's a place where there's a lot of people.
Because we never took spring break until now.
How many years do you?
Better late than never.
That's right.
You know, so forget it. I mean, think about all the things you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Like I
Yes.
mentioned, it's just a regular precautions plus a little bit more.
yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
conscious of.
Can you
Don't touch your
Lysol-
face.
Can you
Take
get
your-
the Lysol spray every single machine you sit on?
Don't move from that one. That's all. That takes you an hour.
Little wipes, you know, to be able to wipe them.
Yeah.
Take them for when you get to the plane. I mean, the first thing you do is just.
Clean
Yeah.
everything.
Do we have this report,
And this is our financial, it was a separate page. These are our financials for.
Are we fully staffed?
No, we're working on adding one more person that we got approved this year, which is our sports sales coordinator. So we just need one more person. to be fully staffed.
Isn't that what you were doing, Hope?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
What
Joel
is
was,
the sports sales?
council requested that we had, and we totally agree. We have, so Joel and I would do sales.
Mhm.
A couple years ago, we would be the sales team. He would do sports and leisure, and I was conferences. And when I moved to assistant director and then to director, basically, well, for a little while, I still
Yeah.
did conferences.
You still touch a little
Yeah, and then when he became the sales manager, he manages basically conventions and sports and anything that's sales. So we need somebody to support that department or that division.
bit. Mhm.
And sports is one of the businesses that brings us more people. So
When
we
you
can
say
do
sales, you're selling,
the destination.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right. Mhm.
yes.
So since we're getting a new complex, there by Cuatro Vientos, that was a push by city council.
There's a lot of potential in that market, and we've seen it with
Yeah.
Pony League
Yeah.
and
Little
Texas
League.
World.
You go out of town, you know,
Yeah.
if you have kids, I mean, I
and
know that
because
it's
of the
like.
weather, we can be a great destination city for that.
For that,
Yeah.
exactly. So, based on that, and we definitely agree with council on that direction, and we're working, and Joel and I are
So it'll
working
be
on
a
it.
sales assistant to
Mhm.
you.
Court, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be part of the sales organization.
Mhm.
What's the salary that's projected?
I don't have it
Remember?
with me.
Oh, okay.
I
That's all
I
right.
can give you that information, but I don't
Yeah,
have it
I don't remember the.
from the top of my mind. I don't have it.
I have some thoughts. I mean, all of a sudden, it just like, yeah, I have a thought.
Because we want to make sure that it's competitive and
Mhm.
Mhm, of course.
I'm
You
thinking
have other,
this would be great.
because it's not like other sales positions where you can offer commission.
Yeah.
Right.
We have
That's
to,
the
it
base.
has to be a good package where the person
of course, I mean, it's,
Mhm.
feels.
the more you,
Yeah.
and you have to have the right person, I mean, there's always that
Exactly.
right person for the job,
Mhm.
you know, that they have the.
And it just happened.
Okay,
that
so we'll be
Became available.
hopefully rolling out that
I'll tell you all afterwards.
position.
I'll talk to
very
you
soon.
after.
Okay.
Well, how exciting!
Mhm.
I'm so excited.
Moving on to the February activity report with Eileen's, the director's report, which is on page 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick update for you on the birding festival. I was so excited to see the number of people at the banquet. It was, for starters, a presentation, and I'll tell you a little bit, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I was so
You
excited.
always do when you get
I know,
excited.
I get And so they had 168 registrants. It's more than they've ever had.
Mhm.
They had 79 from out of state,
That's great.
96
Nice out of state.
79 out of state, 96 Texans, including 12 locals, and 2 out of country. One from Canada, one from Argentina.
That's amazing.
So, and it was a great success. They had a great number of sightings, and they also had, it was just amazing. And
New species you're talking about?
So it was worth
They
their
had-
time.
it was very worth their time. And, I mean, they always come to see the Morelet white collar seed eater.
Mhm.
That one is a crowd favorite. And,
That's a star.
and our star
No, I
delivered,
think
because he
it-
showed up.
And then we see it at the ranch, and I'm thinking, okay.
I know.
What's so special?
Yeah, there's something special.
Little bird, thank you.
Yeah.
For me, it's so exciting to see people, and Mrs. Baird, Barbara Baird, she's been here for the last 8 years.
Oh.
And I still remember her face the first time she came. And she was like, she was very serious, and she wasn't sure what
What she was
What to
coming for.
expect.
to expect.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked to her, and she's been here every year. And she goes she kayaks on the river.
She does?
We joked that I think last year or 2 years ago, she fell. And so she drank the water, she has to come back. She literally drank the water. And so we have a couple of people that have been here for 6, 7, 8
That's
years.
the best
And so-
testament of having a
It's
successful.
repeated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for us, it's a great example of how partners and the city, we can come together, start something, and then from there, I mean,
Make it happen.
Montemucho and Rio Grande International, Tricia, have taken it to a different level,
That's
and
fabulous.
it's just growing and growing. They improved it every year, and so we're happy to support that event. The speaker, when I was there, because I usually go to the banquet, and I was there listening to the speaker. He's from South Africa, and he was, every time he would present something, he would say, "Oh, and this is." He used to have a TV show for 10 years in Florida, and every time he would show something, he would say, "Well, this destination hired me to," and I was like, "Why don't we hire?" And so Tricia is helping me make that connection so that we can do a birding video.
Wow.
And
it's gonna really just.
Promote it.
exactly,
Yeah.
because that's his
Yeah.
specialty. His
Yeah.
specialty is
So now we're a destination for
birders.
for birding and for sports.
exactly. So we're already working with Rio Grande International Study Center in making that connection. We're just working on the details so that in November, December, because that's the prime time for birding, he can come back here and do a video for us
That's
Wow.
to
that's
promote
wonderful.
birding. So that was a good outcome.
Sure is.
Plus, I mean, it was just a great event. We've been in talks with Mexican immigration. We just went to Nuevo Laredo yesterday again for another meeting because they also have paisanos crossing during Semana Santa. So they're preparing and they're keeping us very engaged in that process. They're keeping us very engaged in how they are updating their immigration process, their permits, their vehicle permits. So we're very thankful to them that they're involving us, because once the visitor gets here, and even if it's not a paisano, even if it's a regular visitor, we get a lot of questions. Our front desk gets a lot of questions about Mexico, and we don't always know what to answer. So we've created this really good relationship with our Mexican counterparts, but also with Migración Mexicana and Banjército, to where they're really bringing us in and all that
They're becoming more
information.
online. That is
Everything is now
everything's
online. So just to give you a quick update on that, they changed their whole process for vehicles. Before they had the two options. They still have the two options, but before, when you entered your request for your permit online for your vehicle, which we saw a lot of our paisanos during December tell us for the last couple of years, "Oh, I did it online. The only issue is they had to wait, they had to do it 10 to 15 days before they traveled, because they would get the permit by FedEx. It would be mailed to them. And so what happened is we saw some cases where they wouldn't get it, or they took off before they got it,
Oh, goodness.
because they didn't do it with enough time. And so now what the Mexican government did, Banjército, is you can process your permit online, and then you get it on your phone.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Why did they think about that?
And it's a PDF file, and so you can even have it on your phone, or, because we said,
You can
there's a
print it
lot
out.
of people that,
lose the connection.
or, you don't have, especially if you go into Mexico, but it's a PDF, so you can take a picture.
Yeah.
But what
Print
if,
it right.
exactly, what if the person doesn't have a computer or an email? And so they said, well, it's a PDF, they can go to an
Any
internet
place and
coffee
print it.
place and print it. So they're giving different options. And there's the form is different for if you do it online, or if you do it, you can still go to CITEV and go through the process just as before,
Wait in line.
waiting line, but they're trying to,
eliminate that.
Email with the permit.
Exactly.
You don't stamp, you get.
and you're no longer gonna receive the sticker.
Mhm.
So no need for the sticker anymore, everything is gonna be
You go to
So
September,
you-
you receive an email with all the.
all the information. So if you get stuck
Wonderful.
anywhere in Mexico, like where's your permit, you just pull your phone and say.
So
And
don't lose your phone.
Yeah.
And they they have, they're working on
It's in
this.
the cloud.
Yeah, it's in the cloud.
cloud.
So they're working on making it more, that it's updated faster.
Very, very, very user friendly.
Exactly.
Able to access it, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That's
good.
wonderful.
So, yeah.
Because you can make deposits over things.
Oh, yeah, take the picture and bonus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You know, at Sam's, on Sunday, a lot of the people that I know were Mexican shoppers were paying with their phone.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, you know, the
Yeah,
credit
credit
card
card,
and the
yeah.
whole bit.
But
But
everybody
they
just
were
went
just going
I just discovered that, well, not discovered, but I had never used it, because in my phone I have my card, so
They're
it's the
very
same thing.
technologically
Yeah.
advanced.
You can pay with your, I haven't tried that one, but
Normal
I paid at La
population.
Paletera with my phone, and I was like, alright.
Now I Well, yeah, most of the businesses have, you know, the,
Yeah, and my
Yeah.
son also, you can pay at my son with my phone.
Yeah.
I just feel feel sorry for the manufacturers.
well, you know,
It's
technology.
gonna be a
They're
thing
losers
of the
and-
past.
And they're winners, you know,
Yeah.
just like what happened when,
To the
you know, so like
checkbooks.
when you had the fax, you didn't need it anymore. I mean, it's just technology moves so fast.
No, and,
What happened to
and,
checkbooks when
I don't
everybody
know
started
why-
carrying their
Yeah.
ATM card, right? Start carrying
Who
their checkbook.
carries a checkbook anymore?
why even call them phones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they have,
But when technology went down for us, oh, we heavily relied on our fax machine. That was May and June of last year. That's what I was saying.
fax machine and our typewriter.
Typewriter, oh my God.
You have to have a backup always.
Yeah.
Purchasing was like, can you send this to me? I'm like, but I don't have email. Like, do you want me to drive it to you? Do you have a fax? I do. Really dust it off.
All the ATMs were down.
Yeah, everything was up, yeah.
We still use our fax a lot, especially for credit cards and credit card authorizations. A lot of people,
We
don't
still
feel
use it
confident
too.
like send that
By email and
Yeah,
stuff.
by email.
I used to work at a place where the fax would go to your email, so there wasn't actually a fax. It was
Yes, yeah.
Oh, well, use it for your advantage.
Yeah.
So these are, I'm working with Laredo College on a food and arts festival. We're still working on different projects that council has directed us. So,
Who's the PIO for the city?
Rafael Benavides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know how, before it was always, they were always on camera and I hardly
Now
ever
that
see
nobody
them.
ever does anymore.
I never see them on camera.
He's behind the camera. But what do you mean?
Like, you know, giving information constantly.
Well,
Did that policy change?
I don't know, but I know that the way that they're doing is he gets the either elected official, management, or director.
Somebody else to
exactly,
speak.
to the person that's the subject matter expert to speak. So
And he's
They're
constantly
very-
sending press releases.
exactly, they're very active. Their office is very active. You can see every press conference, all that on YouTube. Everything is
I-
uploaded on YouTube, and
I'm not questioning that. I'm just, everybody needs to have a mouthpiece, you know, a person.
Yeah.
Because that way, it's an extra layer of protection from the actual person.
yeah.
I mean, you have to be well informed and not
Yeah.
give out, you know,
False
bad
information.
data. But it's always good to have somebody that
like a
responds to the
spokesperson.
public.
I can ask what their
It may be a policy change.
exactly. I
you
can
know.
ask.
And that's
about
fine, I just think it's more comforting to the people if they see the same person all the time.
Mhm.
Consistency.
It doesn't matter on what, it's city business and you see this
same
face.
Face, yeah.
And you see them and you know that they're gonna be, they're the city
Yes.
spokesperson. It's just like when the police or the firefighters, you see Joy Reyes, like, well, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
So I
Very
was just
familiar face,
wondering
I
about
think.
that. And it's fine, I mean, it's a policy change, but
I'll check with Rafael and.
I know there's worth in it.
Okay.
Eileen, thank you so much. Moving on to the assistant director's report.
Morning, Madam Chair, my report's on page 7 and 8, and I kind of wanted to highlight on page 8. I went together with Edgar from La Posada. We went to Austin to the SEED conference, and we were bidding for the 2022 conference, and we were competing against San Antonio. So we presented first to the board. It was about 10 board members. And man, they were tough. But they had a lot of questions in regards to the conference, what the hotel was offering, what the city was offering. And we presented to them. After that, they kind of told us you have to wait, 10, 15 minutes, we'll call you, let you know if you guys passed to the second stage. Yeah, so it was like, oh my God. And then we left, they called San Antonio presented first. So when we left, they said, hey, we saw San Antonio, go back. And then we found out later that apparently there were some things that they didn't answer or they didn't have there. So they got them the opportunity to present that.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't think that's fair. But, they have their own policies and everything. So obviously, I guess those were allowed by the board. And so then they told us, you're going to be presenting during their luncheon, you're going to be presenting to the whole assembly of all the attendees. So.
He has been here before, right?
Yes.
I think it's several times.
Yes. So they were recently about 4 or 5 years ago. They were here actually. Eileen won that bid.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a really successful event here, and they really loved it. So that helped a lot. But even with that, competing just with San Antonio, it's a really hard market. It's huge, and they were staying at La Cantera.
They have a lot of.
So they went, and I think they had their city manager, their deputy city manager. They had the director for the community development. They had pretty much all their staff, and that was just me and Edgar. And then obviously the code enforcement here, local code enforcement from Laredo. So they were kind of helping spread the word. But when I went there, I couldn't hear what San Antonio offered and what they said. They were behind closed doors, and I think they went very confident, saying, "Hey, we're gonna be Laredo. Laredo's nothing to us."
Of course, Laredo, yes.
And I could just hear the music, but when we went, we connected our laptop. The mic was from the projector, so I had they had a speaker in the projector, so I was using the mic over here by the stage, and I was like, oh my God. Hey guys, well, don't worry about the music. We don't care about the music, but you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And so I started talking to them and really engaging them in what Laredo has to offer and what we did, when we hosted them a couple years ago. So man, I feel so good, and Edgar was like, man, bro, like I think I walked from there, everybody was giving me high checks, and everybody was like, and I said, vote for Laredo, vote for Laredo, vote for Laredo. So it was pretty cool, I really, after I walked.
Rockstar
Yeah. I walked up over, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know this so bad. But, you get into that moment.
You rose to the occasion.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
You sold it.
Yeah, and the lady from San
did a
Antonio.
darn good job.
So they bought you, so you better be around.
Yeah. So when I walked out, the lady from San Antonio, she's the same like me. She works for the city of San Antonio. She's like, oh my God, you lose some and you win some. And so I think she realized like,
She knew.
yeah, because
That you hit 'em.
I walked out, everybody was like, "Rah!" We won it! So that was Thursday morning, and then we didn't find out until Friday night, right?
Friday night.
And then she found out Thursday night, then I was like, because Jerry, he sits on the board and from community development, he's from environmental, so he reached out to John Porter, and then John Porter to Robert Eats.
To Robert Eats and
And then Robert Eats to me, I was like, and then when I got it, she was texting me, I was like, oh my God, I was about to text you, but it was awesome, a good feeling, thank you.
Congratulations.
So we had a good
You should
team.
be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I was like, can't believe that.
Wonderful.
So just being in San Antonio was really
It
good.
takes one person
Yeah.
to do the right thing.
So yeah, it was really good. So it was a whole effort, and I was like, oh my God. And some people were like, man, from the community development. I was like, we didn't even know that you were a really good speaker, engaged into it. But you have to do what you have to do. So
Rise to the occasion.
yeah, so it was.
When you're
Yeah.
prepared and
Yeah.
you're confident.
And I knew everything left
And
and
you have
right.
something to sell.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
When you
So-
believe in it, it's
Yeah.
all you know you
Yeah.
have.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it shows.
If you believe in your product, man.
That's
And
so
you're
cool.
well-prepared.
No, I was very
Yeah.
excited. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
check
we're
on
really
it.
excited about that. So it was really good, so I just kinda wanted to highlight that
How many people will there normally be?
the one in Austin, they had 200 attendees. So on average, they get between 150 to 200.
Oh, that's
So
good.
we're-
That's a nice size.
So they're coming on April to do a site visit at the hotel, sign the contract, meet with the staff, do already the room block, do all the catering, which we already have everything because part of your RFP, you have to submit everything in your bid. So you kind of have to have already all that details, but, working with La Posada staff and Edgar was there, he's like, I'll take notes, brother, and you do the presentation, and then we'll work together. And so he was taking notes, all the questions that they asked me and asked him as well, in regards to the hotel, in regards to the city, in regards to what things the city has to offer, so yeah, it was really good, the combination that we had, and it was just walking out and saying, man, I beat San Antonio, that was pretty cool, so, yeah,
That's
so,
wonderful.
yeah, so we're really excited and,
That's
you
You
know,
all
It
should
is.
be very proud.
yeah, thank you, so, yeah, it was a group effort, but, want to highlight that, I'm not sure if you guys have any other questions regarding my report.
Good job.
Thank you.
What's the San Antonio chapter meeting, the SGM?
Oh, so that, so there's Austin and San Antonio, SGMP is the Society of Government Meeting Planners, and there's the professionals, and there's the Austin chapter is the Lone Star, so they have monthly, or sometimes it's like every other month meetings, and they're all planners, not only planners, but suppliers from hotels, from destinations that go in. So we're memberships with them with SGMP, and when you sign up with SGMP, you could actually choose all the chapters. So the closest ones to us is Austin and San Antonio. So the San Antonio chapter is the Alamo chapter. So they're a smaller group than the one in Austin, but it's a few meeting planners. They do have, I think they have a little bit more suppliers from hotels, destinations. So they have meetings, depending on their schedules, but it might be either monthly or every other month. So we're working with them and partnering with one of the members from there and co-hosting a mixer. So they're gonna have they do a mixer silent auction where they do a fundraiser for their chapters. So we're gonna co-sponsor, and we're probably gonna donate some of the gifts and do a mixer with drinks and food, and at the same time we get the exposure to be with those planners and they get to see us there. So we're working on one event in May for the Alamo chapter and one in Austin. That's going to be in June. So those are the ones that we're working right now. So it's similar to kind of like what we kind of did like our Cinco de Mayo, but they already organize everything, so we just come in with them and just paying instead of us creating everything and
From there.
so these two organizations already
They have that.
they already have their groups, everything, so we're just co-sponsoring with the hotel. In this case, we're doing it through different hotels. So we're co-sponsoring with a hotel, like the one in the Hilton in San Antonio Airport. So we're co-sponsoring with them. And then the one in Austin, that it's in June, that's with a new Marriott, a Courtyard Marriott in Pflugerville. So we're co-sponsoring with them. So it saves us a little bit money. We're trying to save a little bit of money, but we have already a group there, and we get to be one-on-one, give us a little bit of minutes, showcase and promote Laredo to those clients. Yeah.
What is the Viva Fresh?
Viva Fresh, it's from it's a produce conference that is a Texas International Produce Association. It's based out of the Valley. So that's a state association, but their office is in the Valley. So they organize the Viva Fresh Summit, and what they do is they have exhibitors from Mexico, from the United States, and so we go there and it's a Port Laredo promotion. So this past year we were sponsors, so we had our logos everywhere, Port Laredo logo. It's very similar to our logo, it just has Port. So we literally in the entrance to the exhibit halls, to the meeting space, we had our logos there, so it was really good advertising. And for the past, we've never really done anything, even though we're the number one inland port, but we started to see McAllen, or FAR, mostly it's FAR,
Yeah.
promoting themselves and promoting them. So now it's like,
Jumped in.
yeah, it's like, nah, dude, you guys have to move, so, because there's, and produce they beat us, but not in everything.
No.
So.
And now we've got the avocado.
Yeah, so that's what we do. So we partner with the airport and bridge, and we travel to, in this case, it's San Antonio, and we promote economic development. And now that Declo is on board, I think he's the economic development director for the city. So we all go together, and we all, because there's people that say, hey, I'm traveling, okay, so that's where I come in. And it's a cross promotion of everything. So that's what
good.
These are all great opportunities.
Yeah. So
I think you complement each other, which is
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah.
I think it's a teamwork.
Yeah. And I think when they see that there's different city departments working,
They like it.
They
yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah, because in FAR, it's just them, the bridge. They don't have, it doesn't look like they have support from the city, because it's just the FAR International Bridge. And in our case, it's the city, the bridge, the airport, the economic development. So if they have questions about investing money, Declo comes in, hey, let's do this and do that. So it's a good way, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to the services coordinators report.
Good morning, everybody. My report's on page 9. I've been working on, obviously, the 2020 Sister Cities Festival that's coming up.
Right.
She's like, just a little bit. It's a small event.
I have to go to Washington.
And also doing Washington at the same time. But we did host a destination training as well on September 20th, and we had 22 attendees. So with all the mix, we've learned, we still, I still continue doing our destination training to give that education to our front line and just to promote our city within. If you have any other questions.
What are the dates you all are targeting for the festival?
The dates, it's July 10th to the 12th.
And Vero, Joel, Irma, Mundo, almost everybody in the office was instrumental in getting every single, well, it was a team effort because some of the team covered the front, some of the team was packing in the back. And so it was definitely a team effort, but I think this is a year. And it also helped that our office is designed now for that type of service.
Wonderful.
It made, I don't know.
Yes, it does.
You
Yes.
say anything to the country, but it made a difference in how.
Our workroom,
process.
yes, our workroom is facilitated itself to do this, especially Washington, where we have a lot of services that are done, gifts, and then
You
just
put everything together and it.
yes, send it out in
Packaged
packages.
everything.
So they wrapped and they packed.
They have
and
the space to do more than one thing versus
Yeah.
do one, finish it, make space. Do one,
Exactly.
finish, make
Compared to
space.
the
Now
other
there's
ones.
so much space.
Thank God,
Yes.
y'all just served it so
So
well.
Yeah.
it was great, and so by Friday, the pallets were all, we worked together with the outlet shops. The outlet shops were very nice, and they lent us their loading dock. And so the carrier was able to go to the outlets, pick up the
Yeah.
pallets, and
That's incredible, that's great.
take them to.
All
Tell
our
me how the
logistics.
palenque thingy works, how the grill works, the food works.
So they take the food from here, most of the food, the main items, like the meat
Meat.
and, yes, the proteins, basically. They take them, they take them in a refrigerated truck
Mhm.
that leaves, I think, Saturday,
No, they use Friday.
Friday. And so they
Friday.
drive all the way to Washington.
Mhm.
The rest of the team flies in. They get people from there also to help. And they have negotiated with a hotel there in Washington. They have a very good relationship with a hotel that lets them use their kitchen. And so the way they have explained is they have a day to bring everything down, put it in the fridge, everything. And then the next day they go buy all the produce, and then basically the following day they're prepping all morning because they need to get everything ready, everything cooked. By 10 a.m. they have to be at the security office, because there's an off-site security office for the Capitol. Everything has to be taken down of the truck, scanned, check everything, and then put back in, and that it leaves because they have to be at the Capitol by no later than 2. Setting up the kitchen already. So
Yeah, it's a
that-
process. See?
That's
Yeah.
a huge,
Yes.
huge undertaking.
Yes.
Nobody even knows.
And-
Nobody knows how it happens, but it
It
happens.
happens, and then together with we contract a catering company there in Washington that does everything else but the food. And so they're very experienced in working with the Capitol, and the portion that they take over is tables, chairs, bar, plate, everything else, table covers, everything else. And then we do setup, gifts, decoration, all that good stuff.
What room do y'all get at the
Ways and Means Committee Room.
Oh, okay.
We've done it there. This
That's a
will
pretty
be
good
the
room.
fourth year, third year that we have it there. We've been very lucky that we know the space, we know,
Sure.
because as you know, the Capitol is like a maze.
Mhm.
It's like-
Yeah.
So we know where our loading
Right.
dock is, we know where the storage is, we know where, we already have it.
Still, it's a huge undertaking. Golly.
You hope
No,
it's well
have to be
attended.
congratulated.
It's yeah.
How many people do that?
I
Do
think,
you know anybody that does that? I bet you San
Laredo.
Antonio does
No.
it.
all the
Nobody
people that
does that.
host, they always
Take
tell
their
us
own
that
food.
Laredo is the best. Safest,
Nobody
most
takes their own
safe, yeah.
food.
It's a big liability to be able to do that, like, that's why I think most people will not commit to something like that. Because it's tricky.
Just
like
Laredo.
food,
Mm-hmm.
temperatures,
And because they cook it there, they cook it just a few
They're doing
miles
it-
away.
Not even a mile, I think
Yeah,
they're super
they're
close.
basically, it's like they're catering from a restaurant there.
Yeah.
But because they have done their homework in creating those relationships with the hotel that lets them use the kitchen.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be.
We've been doing it for
That's a
years.
huge undertaking for them as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got all these stars in Laredo.
Mhm.
and they've been doing it, what, 8 years?
Yeah.
8 years, 9 years,
9 years, yeah, that'd be 9.
2011?
Unbelievable.
9 years.
Aquí
9 years.
tenemos nosotros a ese lado.
Sí. Yeah.
You know, and they
I like
always
that.
think we're so second class.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
Veronica, thank you. Moving on to the marketing manager's report, I know Selena's names, Who's gonna do
Who's
this?
gonna give-
Celina, Celina.
She knows.
I had a doctor's appointment where we have Reina from the
You can see
marketing.
me in the.
She's actually in the TV. She is. She co-hosted.
debut.
It was her TV debut with Rafael. They
With the
both
PIO?
narrated the youth parade.
Oh, yes.
This is the PIO, Rafael Benavides.
So,
Yeah, I
you
saw
want to go
that.
ahead and,
Oh, yeah, I read that somewhere, that they did that.
yeah.
Well, Selena told me that last month I traveled to Bernie and I for the TACBB conference, and I met with a company that's Yolo, Texas. That's a TV production that is in 28 cities in Texas, all over the Texas. So they have a program that all about the special things about Texas, special about the cities, food, entertainment, festivals, and anything. And we talk about the WBCA and the Jalapeno Festival. So Selena and I talking about maybe that's a good idea to bring them and show how it is. So Yolo coming to Jalapeno Festival for the Saturday. For the Saturday, and they don't know what is the Jalapeno Festival and anything. And the co-host, the host is a former Miss San Antonio, Texas. So she wants to participate in the contest, in the Jalapeno contest. So she ate 24 jalapenos.
Oh my
And
God.
she's like this, like little
She's
thing.
teeny.
She's tiny, and she was like, "No, I'm so nervous. I don't know. I was like, "Well, in Washington, we've had people win with 13. Of course, it's like we have a mini. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you eat between 3 and 13, you're gonna be like a lot of people that we know. And the next day, I heard it was 24.
24 jalapenos. But the show is aired on this maybe next week, and we have the show for the social media and anything. That's only 4 minutes because that's only for during the show. They showcase Laredo, the Jalapeno Festival, and if we like the products and the production and anything, maybe we can work in another promotion for that's 28 cities, and it's a TV, TV, and they're working with TNS so they can show the show here in Laredo.
Good.
So that's another.
And then put it on all social media and
Yeah.
Yeah, they
we
put
can all share it and
Yeah.
so more people.
I think that's a good,
It's
good
growing
show
up.
and anything. So
It's a
we
good
work with-
opportunity.
Yeah, good opportunity for us to work there.
What's a public access channel?
1301.
1301.
Oh, yeah, 1300 or 13.
1301,
Watch it
I
on
watched
my
the
phone
meeting
because
in
I never
1301.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
1301.
Yeah, and you can also watch it online. A lot of people watch
Yeah,
it
that's
online.
what
Yeah,
I do
that's what I
because
do.
I did never remember what the public access
I no
number.
longer have people.
Yeah.
And that's the one, and another we bring El Blog del Gordo for the Taste of Laredo. That's a influencer from Monterrey. That's all about the food. So he come from the Taste of Laredo, and he said that's a good option for Laredo. That's small, but that's very nice because that's you can taste all the food from all the places. That's no any other festival in Mexico like that. So that's it's for $20 and you can taste, and that's not a small taste, that's a very big taste of all the food. So he really liked it, and we have a great engagement with that. We wait for the results for this, but we can see the results immediately with engagement on our social media with this and the followers with him. So that's the most important. We work with El Blog, with Yolo, and with all the WBCA festivities. We have all the coverage.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So that's a combination for the marketing and the social media marketing.
You're good, girl.
We're the logistics
How was
and
the
then
attendance last season for the Tecos?
I'm not sure. I would have to ask for the numbers. I can ask for those numbers.
How did, how do we submit revisions to the visitor's guide?
You just give us a call and like we get calls from businesses. Yeah. We get calls from businesses saying, "Hey, I wasn't in the previous visitor guide, or I'm not in the
Is that right?
I'm not in the website if it's a new business." So yeah, we get those and we
on
revise
the
it.
website they can add by themselves. They will have an option that they can list
Your business.
your business, your event.
And so for and we have to like if there's information that we're missing, we get those calls.
Let me stand up.
Okay, Ana Reina, thank you so much. Moving on to the Casa Laredo.
Oh, I wanted to ask about the window decals from Relic. What is that?
Oh, so as part of, so we're, as I mentioned before, our office is like, needs the hair and makeup. So the decals are part of the hair and makeup for the office.
What's the status when they
What
come in,
window?
the logos and all that?
So that's 0.6 and we can, if you want, we can, before we adjourn, we can go back to,
Okay.
because we skipped number 6.
Okay.
No, that's the Casa,
No, number 6, like Roman
oh, number,
6.
oh, okay. Update on regarding the rebranding, I'm sorry about that.
No,
Okay.
okay.
Do we want to go back to that?
We can finish Casa Laredo,
Okay.
so we can
All right.
wrap up this one.
Now that I get coffee. Casa
You
Laredo,
have to stand.
I do.
Casa Laredo report is on page 14.
One of our main offerings from Casa Laredo has been for many years the logistics seminars, the logistics and custom seminars. And those groups, we've seen a big interest from schools and groups and different, and now we're working even with economic development offices from the different towns around Monterrey, because Monterrey is a metroplex, they have different communities around. And so now we're working specifically with Guadalupe, Nuevo León. We signed a sister cities agreement with Guadalupe, Nuevo León. And one of the things that we're doing is working with them in bringing that service to them. Casa Laredo also participated through Selene with the Texas Tourism Office. There was a big binational tourism conference in El Paso. Well, I was actually in Chihuahua. And it was very well attended, and we participated with the Office of the Governor. So we were part of the Texas travel team. And it was a great opportunity to see what other border cities are doing and the way that they work together with their counterpart in the Mexican side.
How did you get invited to a conference like that from the state, from the governor's office?
We're very lucky that the person in charge of the Mexico promotion, well, first of all, we've always had a very good relationship with the tourism office of the governor, Texas Travel. We've always worked very closely with them, but now we're very lucky that one of their people is a former Laredo CBB employee.
Really?
Yes. And so the person that's in charge of their promotion to Latin America happens to be a former Laredo CBB employee, a former City of Laredo and a former Laredo CBB employee. And we've
A marketing employee.
a marketing employee, and we've kept in contact with her for many years.
Wow.
We've never lost
How lucky
touch,
can you be?
and so we are very lucky
Wherever you
that
wear.
that she always thinks of us, and even though we've always had the really good relationship, and we keep working, we work with different sides of the office, because they have like the statistics and market research side, which we're constantly working with them.
Can I call you back?
But we're very lucky that we have Jessica there as a former Laredo.
That's great.
That's good.
Nobody ever calls me.
Well, we don't know.
Something must have happened.
Okay. Then, does anybody have any questions for the Casa Laredo report?
Very good.
We will go back to item number 6, Roman numeral 6, which is the update regarding the rebranding initiative.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to give you a quick update of where we are. We had to go back to the drawing board in terms of the logo. We have a new proposal, a new version that we're working with. It's a little bit different, and we'll show it soon. That management gonna give them the seal of approval to that one, because we had been working after the meeting that we had. There were a lot of questions about the star and what it represented. Definitely the waves were a no-no, but the star, there was a lot of back and
Does
forth.
this mean we get rid of this?
Not for the city,
Oh, okay.
but yes, for
For
the
the
CVB, yeah. I think this is a great logo for the
I
city.
know, it's
Yeah, because
just terrific.
Yeah, in terms of the CVB, we wanted something that would tell a little bit more of the story, or an icon. And so we're doing that, obviously, because we didn't have that main part of the rebranding, that delayed a lot of the rest of the process.
Yeah.
Now that we have that, everything is running in, and so we just got a media analysis from them. We're moving along faster than we did in the last couple of months, because we had that roadblock of the icon and the name was already set, the Laredo established 1755. I think everybody agreed on that one, that it lends itself to a lot of things.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that one is set. But yeah, the star, we're going back and forth, and so we went we asked Relic to go back to the drawing board, and they showed us a couple of options, and management gave their seal of approval. So we'll be showing, they're working on now the ad portion, and so once we have something put together, which should be, if not next week, the following. So I hope that for the next meeting, we can come back with something that we can actually present and show to you. And so I wanted to update you because we had like radio silence for a couple of months. It was just because we were, our roadblock was the icon. We were trying to get to something that was more, it wasn't controversial in terms of looking like a piñata or meaning something else, or looking like something else. So we went back to the drawing board.
Very good.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you. As far as our discussions and announcements, our next meeting is scheduled for April the 2nd, 2020. Is everyone okay with that date? Yes. Do we have any other announcements to bring to this meeting?
Lexi, we're gonna miss you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your hard participation, coming to all of our meetings, and
You're very welcome.
maybe we'll have you back one day again.
I think
Yeah.
I work out your schedule, you know, it's,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, because I think this is my 5th year.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been here for
it's been-
quite some time.
and it's hard
Many
to.
years.
Well, you know what we do, so if you see anything,
Oh,
hear anything,
absolutely,
please
absolutely.
call.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate, I mean, every single one of you,
Yeah.
we really appreciate what you do, and I mean, we talked about this when the change happened
Yes,
that time, we were
yeah.
like, no, we don't
And
want to.
when this happened this morning, I felt bad because of what everyone
Yeah.
did to kind of help me stay on board, and I really appreciate all the effort that everyone put into that. Thank you.
No, thank you for participating with us, for giving us your point of view every time, and we really appreciate what.
Stay involved,
Yes,
I'll
definitely.
try my
stay
best.
involved.
Yes.
No, really, I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
You're part of the committee.
Forever.
Forever and ever.
Emeritus.
Honorary committee member, so thank you so much. We
Really,
really,
You're welcome.
really appreciate it.
Thank you all. It's been fun. I really enjoyed it.
Do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting today?
No, we don't want to.
I
move that
Second.
Motion carried. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good information, good discussion.